Welcome back to another episode of the Tan and J Man Show, episode 172 to be exact.
How many years? Sorry, I have a mic in my hand, and it's going to take me a little while to get used to it.
How many years? We started in November of 2016, so this is our fourth year.
3 years and about a couple months.
It's kind of our fourth season, maybe. So
fourth season for Tan and J Man Show.
We got a special guest here.
Yes, sir.
What's up?
Travis Wottring, Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent and sponsor of the J-Man's Book It Prediction of the Week.
Book it!
And speaking of sponsors, the Tan and J-Man Show is sponsored this week, like it is every week, by The Damn Landing. Whether you want an epic burger, hand-tossed pizza, hand-breaded tenderloin, seafood, craft beer, or a handcrafted cocktail, The Damn Landing is the place to be. The Damn Landing is a bar and grill located on beautiful Lake Manitou that focuses on freshness and quality. And The Damn Smoke is here every weekend, Fridays and Saturdays, ribs, steaks, and more. I think they're back with some kind of Reuben burger, it looked like on their Facebook.
I did see that with sauerkraut.
In March only.
Some other
so
things.
You can go get that. And in addition, you can wash it down with one of their 16 beers on tap, including a constant rotation of today's best microbrews and domestic flavors, or a handcrafted cocktail made using fresh ingredients. Taking the fantastic views of Lake Manitou in their beer garden or outdoor bar area. It's nice enough today. That'd be a nice place to go. Whether it be by boat or by wheels, the Damn Landing is the place to be, located at 1305 Ewing Road in Rochester.
That was infinitely times better than my read last week.
Of course it was. But like I said at the start of our show, we are not alone this week, J-Man. Travis Wottring is joining us, third or fourth time maybe?
I think at least three or four,
Three or four.
First time on TV, though.
First time on the ISC Sports Network.
Yes,
Number one.
So, Travis, for everybody who doesn't know you out there, all the listeners of the Tan and J-Man Show Nation, why don't you tell a little bit about your sports allegiance and everything, a little bit about you.
So I'm a big sports guru, kind of like these two. Not as good as these two.
Yeah,
these are two of the most history buff guys I've ever met. We were kind of talking off air, and I said I'm a selfish sports fan because if it's not about my team or teams I like, I don't care. So I'm a big Ohio State basketball fan, a big Notre Dame football fan.
Yeah,
I know.
How did that happen?
So
I understand the Notre Dame football, but the Ohio State basketball, because usually it's Ohio State football.
Right.
It should be Ohio State football.
So my mom's side of the family is from Ohio. My dad's side's from Indiana. So that's why I'm also a big Cincinnati Reds fan. My dad went to Lawrence North, and that's where Mike Conley and Greg Oden went, and I just grew up watching their games, being that my dad went there, and so we always went back and watched them, and then those two kind of just went to Ohio State, and that's when I was a third grader, and I've liked them since. Literally, that's the reason, because of Greg Oden and Mike Conley.
Okay,
so
that's cool.
Back in 2000, I think it was 3 or 2004 is when that happened. Been a fan of them since. So kind of bandwagon, but at least I've stuck with them for 13 years or so. Cincinnati Reds, like I said, for baseball. Big Indiana Pacer fan, and Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, all the rest are, I guess Ohio State's still regional, I guess.
Yeah, considering you went to Grace College, you almost have to be an Ohio State fan. I learned that while going there for the 1 year I actually went there. That's actually how I grew to really dislike Ohio State, is just going to Grace College.
Well, both Ohio State and Illinois play against each other on Thursday night, so we'll get into that game.
We'll talk about that.
We'll get into that game. That's going to be
home
fun.
at the Nut House.
Well, Illinois won last year with a significantly worse team.
Have you ever been to a game there, Travis?
I have. I've been to not a lot, two or three games. The last one was last year. I went to senior night. That was awesome. Funny story about that. I saw Dan Dockich there, who still has me blocked on Twitter.
I wouldn't feel bad about that. He's not a favorite of the Tan and J-Man Show. Let's put it that way.
I actually don't mind him. I used to hate him.
I like Dockich when he's announcing a game.
He's a good broadcaster, but you get him on his radio show, and he does it on purpose. He's trying to just get
Twitter
attention.
Dockich is the worst, too. I had to
I don't know if he's
Twitter.
worse than 1070, the fan Dockich, but
the 1070 the fans brutal.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess I wouldn't know about Twitter Dockich because I've been blocked for about 2 years now.
But anyways, we're glad you made the drive up and to join us tonight. So we got a lot to talk about. Should be a good show.
I appreciate it. I had some work stuff up here, and I shot you a text, told you I'd be around, and it worked out perfect.
Yeah, we've been wanting to get you on, and with the new setup, you're our first guest with the new setup. So,
Woo!
So it's all downhill from here.
Special moment. Got some Birdie Bogey for us?
I do. I got to do a little counting here real quick.
It's going to take a while.
There are 12 teams. Wow. 12 cities, not teams, 12 cities that have a team representative in all of the big four sports leagues, or at least a team in all four, if not more. So there's 12 cities that have four major sports teams, NHL, NFL, MLB, and NBA. Which city has the longest playoff drought?
Longest playoff drought?
Out of the 12. So you guys kind of have to figure out what 12
that
those
is
are.
A good question.
And then which city has been the longest?
I have a guess, but I'm obviously going to wait till the end of the show.
Wait till then.
Huh.
Birdie Bogey is brought to you by Noble Gnome LLC. Fresh, locally grown, nutrient-dense produce from Bryce and Katie Romine of Mentone, Indiana. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram, and check out their website, noblegnomellc.com. They are looking for subscribers because it's getting into veggie season.
Yeah, they redid their website. They redid their Facebook page. Everything looks really good. New logo, everything. So please go give them a follow, like their page. Check out their website. You can subscribe for $100. Get fresh, locally grown veggies to you. So
Get your veggies.
Yep.
Ready for some On This Day? Ready to be educated?
I'm ready.
On This Day is brought to you by Roadstar Driving School of Fulton County. Services all your needs. All your teens, drivers, education needs. Call us at 574-780-2291 or email us at fulton@roadstardriving.com. I rebounded well.
Yeah, we're glad to have Joel and Ashley Burris on for the sponsorship of the On This Day segment for the month of March. So welcome aboard.
On this day in 1874,
Just a couple years ago.
post-Civil War, National Association of Professional Baseball Players officially adopts the batter's box.
Interesting.
Wow.
I would have guessed that was just there to begin
Yeah,
with.
me
Given,
too.
right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Decide any player betting on his own team will be expelled.
Pete Rose.
Pete Rose. Any player
Hall of
betting
Famer.
He is. No
any
doubt.
player
Should be.
betting on any other team will forfeit his pay, which was back then probably $1.50 or something.
You're probably right.
Let's see here. Not a whole lot from 1874 up until 1951 was the first NBA All-Star game at the Boston Garden.
51?
1951, first NBA All-Star game. East beat the West 111-94. Can you name the MVP in 1951?
Take your first crack.
Well, hold on.
Travis.
111 to 94. I'm more.
1951, though. No three-point line.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lot
They
of
probably
points.
played deep. That's a lot of points for back then.
That is
51.
I don't have a guess.
I'm going to guess like Jordan.
Not even
Mikan.
close. Ed McCauley, Boston Celtics guard.
He says not even close while I'm spitting out a name, but it wasn't close. I said George Mikan.
On this date, 58 years ago, 1962, Philadelphia center Wilt Chamberlain scores 100 points, which is obviously the most ever by an NBA player in a single game. Guess the final score of that game.
It was against the Knicks.
It was, yes.
I'm going to guess it was like 158 to, I don't know.
180
100?
to 120.
169 to
I wasn't
147.
even close.
Dear God.
He shot 36 of 63. That's not overly efficient for a 7-footer back then, but he was 28 of 32 from the
63 field goal attempts.
yeah.
The
And he-
overhit.
He made less than 50% though, but hit 28 throws, 28 to 32. Pretty good.
Oh, that's
actually,
really good, actually.
for a guy that never really.
It's way better than Nebraska shot as a team yesterday.
8 of 30.
Good job, Nebraska. The lowest for any team in the last decade that has shot at least 30 in a game.
I felt bad for that Ivan Udrago or whatever his name is, their big guy. He had like 20 rebounds yesterday. It was like 1 of 9 from the free throw line.
I mean, you just make one more, you win a regulation.
Yeah.
They don't know how to do that.
Ouch.
Honestly, if I'm a team playing on Wednesday, I think I'd rather play Northwestern than Nebraska. I mean, you guys lost to Nebraska.
Got killed by Nebraska.
But they have good guards. They're pretty athletic, but just hack a shack all game long. Mm-hmm. Make them hit throws. Let's see here. 1989 New York Mets stars Keith Hernandez and Darryl Strawberry nearly come to blows in front of
That's not a
reporters.
surprise.
Darryl Strawberry,
He spent some time in prison, didn't he?
yeah, he liked his cocaine. Let's be honest. Keith Hernandez was really good, most famously known for playing Elaine's boyfriend.
I was gonna say, he's on
episodes
Seinfeld.
Of Seinfeld.
Yep. And he was in him and Clyde Frazier have been in those
The Just for Men
Just
or
for Men
something
commercials,
like that.
yeah, for like beard and
long
hair.
time since
Yeah.
we were kids.
yeah.
So
We are kids.
still are. Yes, I feel a lot older than I am, but that's a conversation for another day. Let's see here. There's not a whole lot. There's a lot of like yacht racing,
Yeah, I know. That's real exciting.
boxing, and sports we just don't care about. 2004, St. Joe's Hawks finished their college basketball season with an 82-50 win over St. Bonaventure. Became undefeated with a perfect 27-0 record.
Made Elite Eight that year and lost. Jameer Nelson, Matt Carroll, Delonte
West, yes.
who is not in good shape
Not in
these
good
days.
shape. I remember that whole year it was St. Joe's and Stanford were the two that were kind
Josh
of...
Childress was on Stanford.
Yeah, they were kind of the two that
Yep.
were undefeated, I think, longest. And both got put out. Well, of course, St.
St.
Joe's
Joe's made
lost in
Elite
the Elite
Eight,
Eight, but it seems like Stanford got beat in the round of 32, or could be wrong. 2004, Indianapolis Colts signed quarterback Peyton Manning to a 7-year, $98 million deal with a $34.5 million signing bonus. Largest deal to date in NFL.
And that would be his last contract with the Colts.
Deserved every dollar.
Yep.
Yeah, he wasn't bad.
That stadium's there because of him.
Beautiful stadium.
2012, Major League Baseball confirms the postseason will be expanded from 8 to 10 teams with an extra wildcard team in each league. It's worked out pretty well so far.
I didn't like it at first, but it's
That was actually a solid deal Bud Selig did. I wish the current commissioner would do something smart, but
we could spend a whole hour talking about
he's not
him.
very smart. 2012, the NFL establishes existence of a bounty program with the New Orleans Saints.
Greg Williams.
Players given incentives to injure a position. Coach Sean Payton is suspended for 2012 season.
I forgot about
I
that.
did forget about that.
That was 7 years ago.
2012?
Because he's back on the Madden games now, but Bill Belichick's still not on that game.
That'll do it for on this day.
Yeah, I feel a lot smarter. Good job, Josh.
That's what I do. I'm an educator.
I won't remember any of it.
Yeah.
Wilt Chamberlain. I bet you'll remember.
I remember that one. And Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
2 of them.
2 of them. Batter's box.
Nah,
What date was that?
1874, right?
I'll never remember that. But as impressive.
Yep. Well, college hoops, we are in the final week of the regular season.
Hard to believe.
Some conferences, the smaller ones, have their conference tournaments this week.
You know, those are some of my favorite events of the year, those small conference championship games. You know, those are their Super Bowl.
Sure.
Because, I mean, they're not going to win a national championship. Of course, we had Loyola go to the Final Four 2 years ago. But for those guys to win that is their championship.
Sure.
And it's cool just to watch them.
I know one I used to like was Arch Madness, Missouri Valley, but it's not a good conference anymore.
No Wichita State. Creighton's no longer in it.
No, it's just not a very good conference anymore. So
They have some
there's
good
10 teams.
Northern Iowa's really good in the Missouri Valley.
I'll
this
tell you,
year.
Evansville's not. They didn't win a conference game.
That's a real bad loss for Kentucky.
That might be
At
one
home.
of the worst losses in college basketball history.
History.
Regular season, one of them in history. Yeah. At home,
Yeah.
number 1 in the nation.
But at that time, I mean, Walter
Looking back
McCarty
on it,
hadn't gotten canned
You're
yet.
right, but
But
yep.
that's a bad loss.
Yeah.
I'll give it.
Yeah, there's no.
I don't know why I'm trying to justify.
Oh, that was a good
Right,
loss.
I'm trying to justify it.
That was
but,
equal to a quad 1 loss.
Are you a UK fan all of a sudden, defending them?
Definitely not. Honestly, that loss should drop them down at least 1 seed line.
Now we're getting on the same page there.
Yes.
So, but like I said, what a crazy year it's been in the Big Ten. It's going to be crazy clear to the finish here. The seeding for the Big Ten tournament still needs to be established this week. A lot can happen. But, Travis, you got to be feeling pretty good about your Buckeyes as of late.
They've been playing some good basketball. Ranked number 19th now in the country. I think they're 7th in the Big Ten. Actually, I know they're 7th in the Big Ten. They're on. I think they've won 3 in a row, won 8 out of their last 10, and ever since DJ Carton's kind of left, they've been on fire.
And I think I shared this last week. My theory on that is, his teammates care about him, of course. It's their teammates, their friend, and they were all concerned with getting him better. And then when he took a leave of absence, then they're like, okay, now we can focus on basketball, and they've turned it around.
Yeah,
that's just my theory on it.
The mental health thing. He went back to his hometown of Iowa,
Bettendorf.
There you go. I'm sure you knew that.
That's where my parents live. So
Absolutely, you knew
I
that.
watched him play last year.
He went back there for a while. I think January. I mean, it's been a while.
yeah, he was there quite a while.
Yeah, and then he is back on campus now. He's getting enrolled in classes again, but still nothing to do with the basketball program. Coach Holtman obviously said he's still part of the team, but there's no.
You don't bring him back till next year.
No, I don't think so either.
No.
And why? I mean,
It could really mess things up.
right. I wouldn't mess with it right now. They're playing good ball.
Yeah. But while we're on the Ohio State topic, who's your favorite Ohio State player of all time? Is it Oden?
It's Greg Oden, hands down. Hands down.
Got quite a few good ones to choose from.
I would say Greg Oden, hands down. Next would probably be Aaron Kraft.
I knew it. The way he was smiling. I'm like, this could be Kraft. I could have wrote that down.
I completely forgot about it.
My rosy cheek friend. I loved him. During that time. I mean, I loved. Jared Solinger was fun to watch. John Diebler. He's
hated John Diebler.
Ohio's all-time leading scorer.
Buford.
I'm pretty sure he was a 90% shooter against Illinois.
He didn't miss. Yeah. Aaron Kraft would be number 2.
Last time I saw good Aaron Kraft, he's laying on the floor after losing to Dayton.
I remember that. he missed the game winner.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it was a fairly easy layup.
Because remember, he was laying like this, and hashtag crafting was trending on Twitter.
I was at B-Dubs in Warsaw watching that game with my brother.
That was in that dreaded 11-6 game. I think that was the year Dayton went to the Elite Eight.
Well, Archie Miller hadn't been a good coach since, so...
Now, there was actually, going a little off topic, but yesterday Indiana played at Illinois, and there was an Orange Crush member that said something like, you leaving Dayton's the best thing that ever happened to him. Hard to argue.
Yeah, it really is.
They can make another Elite Eight run this year. They're tough.
Yeah, but you got to be happy where Ohio State's sitting right now. They get the Illini at home on Thursday, and then at Michigan State for Cassius Winston's senior day. That's not going to be easy.
No, they struggle they have historically struggled at Michigan State.
Like every team.
Yeah,
like every team for a long time. I hope they win. Obviously, I hope they win both their games. Thursday, I think it'll be a battle, but I could see them getting beat by double digits at Michigan State on Sunday, especially for senior night.
I could see Cassius Winston coming out playing a little tight. I see players do that on senior days. I mean, you're always talking about how it's impossible to beat teams on their senior days, but I think teams play a little worse just because last game ever at this arena, they're trying to put on a show, and so if it doesn't go well early, they start pressing a little bit.
I didn't say it's impossible. It's just very difficult.
You said impossible.
No. But good week for your Illini, J-Man, 3-0.
Yes, sir.
3 tough wins. I mean, 3, not really any of them were real relaxing for you, I don't think.
Thursday was the most relaxing. They were up double digits most of the second half, but I will never feel comfortable ever. Just ever. They could be up 40 with like 6 minutes left. Team goes on a 6-0 run. Here we go. That's just kind of how I'm wired.
And I believe that. I mean, yeah.
And instead of tuning into an Illinois game, I can just kind of check Twitter and know.
That's all you got to do.
But
for any of his teams,
it
man.
sounds like they're down. Like you said, they're down 20, down 30. Illinois was up 6 when he was tweeting. I was like, what's going on?
I wasn't negative, was I, yesterday? Indiana.
No, you weren't.
Indiana kept hanging around.
As they shouldn't, is what you said.
It was annoying because.
And then make your dang free throws.
Well, they started, 0 for like 5 or something like that. And
he hasn't been as bad this year as usual.
I've been pretty dang happy all year.
Last year with the Cubs might have been the worst.
It was bad.
That was really bad.
I think you stopped tweeting about them, didn't you? For a while?
I did for a little
while. I about muted them.
You should have. This year, I just expect them to be bad, so it'll be a lot more chill. So we'll see.
My favorite thing with Josh and his Cubs Twitter is when Nate favorites every single one
of
your tweets.
I have stopped tweeting during Cubs-Reds games because of your freaking brother. Every time something bad happens and I tweet about it, your brother's right there to let me know about it.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had your notifications turned on during the Cubs-Reds games because, I mean, it's every single one.
It sure seems like it. He's like favoriting them like 20 seconds after I send them out.
Typical.
Yeah. But we all 3 had a pretty good week. Purdue was only in action once, but they beat Indiana. Sloppy game, but hey, a win over Indiana is always pretty. So
win's a win, man.
10 out of the last 11 and 7 in a row against them. Can't even really call it a rivalry right now.
No.
Domination.
I mean, remember when Bobby Knight said, "I'm tired of losing to Evan Purdue"?
Yeah.
That's what Archie is probably thinking in his brain.
And I don't think the paint crew is on his good list with the little Archie chants. Mm-hmm. So you should have seen the stare he was giving them when they started chanting little Archie. He just looked up and just gave him a stare.
We made fun of Tom Crean forever.
I think Archie's more whack.
Archie pales in comparison.
He's embarrassing himself every game.
It's embarrassing.
How long is he the coach still for? I mean, is he?
Well,
is there a plan to get rid of him?
No. Well, it's a weird situation because they're probably going to make the tournament. I think they got to win one more game remaining to get in. And then that's going to buy him some time. But even if he misses the tournament this year, I think he's safe for one more year because he does have good recruits coming in. Or he just landed a 5-star recruit this past week, I should say. But
Who might reclass, too.
Yeah, he might reclass the next year.
Okay.
A kid from Evansville.
Okay.
But here's the big thing a lot of people don't know, unless you follow Indiana kind of closely. Fred Glass, their AD, is retiring in May. They have not named a replacement AD for him. Last thing Fred Glass is going to want to do is fire Archie Miller. That's what you let the new AD come in to make those decisions. So that's why I think he's back no matter what.
Plus, isn't he guaranteed $10 million?
I think if they fired him,
the buyout's huge.
$10 million. So
I'm sure usually the buyouts after 4 years go down significantly.
And I was talking with Josh about this the other day. I've been lucky in my lifetime. I've known 2 Purdue basketball coaches, Gene Cady, Matt Painter. Indiana, since Bob Knight, has had Mike Davis, Kelvin Sampson, Dan Dawkins just for a little bit when Sampson was fired, Tom Crean, now Archie Miller. That's a lot of coaches since 2000.
Especially in basketball.
I mean, it's a revolving door. They keep looking for the next Bob Knight. Newsflash, you're not going to find the next Bob Knight. You're not. One of the greatest coaches ever. You're not going to find him.
And honestly, Bob Knight wasn't Bob Knight for the final 13 years of he was there. I mean, they just, I don't know.
They need to find, I don't know. I don't know who to compare they need to find.
I was hoping they would have brought Alford in, just a home Indiana boy. I think it'd help with recruiting personally. I know Archie's a big name as well, but I don't know either.
But now Steve's going to have to do good in Nevada if he ever wants to get a bigger job now.
Yeah. Steve would have been classic at Indiana. He would have had him far worse, in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, he didn't win at Iowa.
The name I would look for if they ever want to get an Indiana boy is Dane Fife. He's been learning under Izzo now for the last decade and years.
But why leave? Izzo has to be close to
That's
retiring.
Yeah.
Why not take over MSU?
Yeah. Well, it just depends.
It's kind of like a Belichick McDaniels type of situation. He's waiting.
He is an idiot.
He's a loser.
He is. I told you that was the best thing for the Colts was him backing out.
And go find my tweet when I said, boom, we got McDaniels. He's a loser.
He's a nut job. But no, a good week for all 3 of our teams. Big Ten's winding down. Josh is trying to make a case today for Io DeSumo to be on the first team All Big Ten. What do you think about that, Travis?
Who was it?
Io DeSumo. He said over Anthony Cowan, Maryland's point guard.
I'm not going to get into any kind of sports argument with Josh, but
I will.
Well, go ahead then. I can see either way. I mean,
if you take off anybody off the first team, Cowan probably
would be Cowan.
That's what I'm saying.
But
in the Io, I mean, Maryland's probably going to win the Big Ten. And they'll probably get it just because of that.
That definitely helps.
But there is no greater closer in college basketball right now than Io DeSumo. Every freaking game, it's close. You know who's going to have the ball, and he always delivers. He hits a 3 to go up 5 yesterday, about a minute and a half left, and then up 2, 1-1. I just spit everywhere. Sorry.
My phone's a little wet.
up 2 with a 1-1. He nails both free throws with 4 seconds left to put the game on ice. I mean, you saw him do it against Michigan State last year, at Ohio State last year, against Purdue this year in Purdue. Yep. I mean, Purdue cut it down to 9, crowd was rocking, and then Io goes
Everybody
out.
Was max. Here we go.
Here we go.
Who is going to be the first team Big Ten?
Luka Garza might win National Player of the Year.
I think he is National Player of the Year.
He's a freak.
But yet, I don't think he's going to translate well in NBA.
No, he's not.
You watch more NBA than I do, so maybe.
He is an incredible college basketball player. I mean, you see him run down the court, and he's in position to score right as he gets down there. He works harder probably than any post guy maybe in the country.
What will help him a little bit is he can shoot the 3, but he doesn't remind me of an NBA player yet.
Have you seen him run?
Players don't.
He looks like a baby deer.
Yeah, he's a little goofy.
But, man, he's so good.
But, yeah, Garza, obviously.
Jalen Smith.
Yeah, Stick Smith. He's been
absolutely. Awesome. I would say Cassius Winston.
Yeah. At one time, you could make an argument for him, but yeah.
Yeah, the way he's playing.
What about Stevens?
Lamar Stevens, I would say, is on there.
I was going to say Oturu.
I'd have Oturu second team. Just their team's going to finish 12.
Yeah, that's a good point. I always forget about that stuff.
And then I would say it's a coin flip between Cowan and DeSumo. I know some writers
they might split.
And sure, they might.
One each.
And the media loves Cowan. They love DeSumo, too. It's going to be interesting because next Monday is when they do it all.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next Monday more in detail.
As for player of the year, who's your player of the year? Well, Luka Garza, yeah.
I think Garza got questions. Who's your guys' favorite college player that's not on Illinois or Purdue?
That's a good question.
That's a real good
Really
question.
good question. I haven't watched a ton this year.
Nothing?
That's the problem.
Man, that is a really good question.
Let me give you mine.
Yeah, please.
Marcus Howard.
Yeah,
I love that kid. I wish he was on any other team but Marquette because that dude he averages 26. He'll drop 37 at any time, and they're getting beat by 15 still.
Well, the thing is, when they played Purdue, he only had 16, and they still beat Purdue by 10. It was the other guys stepped up that night.
It's weird watching that team play. I don't know if you've watched them play or not, but obviously it revolves around him. But when he's not making it, it's I don't know how they win other games, but they clearly do. But
that is a great question.
I'm stumped. You got me stumped right now.
Miles Powell.
I do like
Miles
Powell.
He's similar to Miles. Same conference. They score a ton of points.
I was just curious.
I don't really watch non-Big Ten basketball that much.
Yeah.
For some reason this year, I just haven't done it. Obi Toppin. Easy.
Okay.
Easy.
There you go.
That's he just puts on a highlight reel himself. Could just do.
He's good.
Every game, the ESPN top 10 could just be him.
I probably don't have one.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I haven't watched tons outside the Big Ten this year. I don't know why. Whereas college football, I feel like I watched more than ever this year.
I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. Yeah.
You want to pick some Big Ten games?
I'll bring it up on my phone there.
Everybody reaches for their phone at the same time.
T-Dog. No games tonight.
The Mondays have been done for a while.
Tuesday, have a good matchup here. Michigan State at Penn State. Michigan State looking for revenge.
Senior night for Lamar Stevens and Mike Watkins. Mike Watkins, 40 years in the making for his senior night.
I think he's older than our parents.
Yeah, he looks like it. Bryce Jordan Center will be rocking. It'll be sold out. Give me the Nittany Lions.
Penn State.
Not so fast, my friends. Michigan State. They're rolling. They're doing what...
I love Izzo.
You're
an Izzo lover.
No.
Although it is March.
It is March. They just had a huge win.
Izzo, as John Rothstein says. That's what he refers to the month as, Izzo.
What's it called?
Yesterday after Michigan State won over the weekend, he said January, February, Izzo, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Josh hates that guy.
Never mention that guy's name in my presence.
He's the best. This is March, Josh.
This is Izzo.
It is March. I can look at a calendar and tell you that. Maryland at Rutgers. Huge game for Rutgers. If they lose it, I don't think they make the tournament.
Give me Maryland in a close one.
I'm copying you, but Maryland agreed.
Maryland has to stop getting down like 14 in the first half like he's been doing. They've been doing that all year at Illinois, at Minnesota. And they've won
and they come back.
Michigan State or at home against Michigan State, and they didn't win. But give me Maryland. Great story. Rutgers has been, but they're not making the tournament.
It might not end so well for Steve Peichel.
No.
Purdue at Iowa.
Give me Iowa.
By a lot. I don't think it's as bad as what Purdue did to Iowa earlier.
No.
But I think it's going to be a big one.
Everything clicked for Purdue that night, and Iowa was awful. They play a lot better at home than they do on the road.
I was just about to say Iowa's a far different team at home. Purdue's a far different team on the road. I think it's fairly close because Purdue's going to fight and claw for their postseason lives here, and they have to.
Purdue has 3 road wins on the year. There's some teams projected to get in the tournament, like Indiana right now, who has 2. Rutgers only has 1 road win. The last team, I believe, to have 3 or less road wins and get in, I don't know if it was overall, like Power 5 or just Big Ten, was Illinois in 94.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I think that was post sanctions too, which is
just an interesting little fact there.
Speaking of road wins, Maryland and Illinois are tied for the most in the Big Ten with 5 Big Ten road wins.
And like I said, Rutgers and Indiana have the least.
Give me Iowa in a close one. Wednesday, Minnesota at Indiana.
Give me IU. I think this is the win they need to get in the tournament. I think they have to win one more game and they get it done.
Assembly's going to know that, and that place will be rocking, I have a feeling.
They have 2.
They can't score, though.
They have 2 home games.
They beat Minnesota the first time they played.
In Minnesota. Minnesota, if they could just close out a few of those real close games.
They've choked some at home really bad.
Iowa, choke, up 8 with 3.5 minutes left or 4 minutes left. Lose. Maryland, up huge.
4 with 23 seconds
They were up
left.
17.5. Yep. Yesterday, they were up late and lost to Wisconsin.
Well, Wisconsin was up 12 at one point in that game. And
They're rolling right now.
They are.
Indiana played as well, I think, as they possibly could yesterday on the road. They're a bad shooting team, hit 8 of 16 from 3, and they still lost. Minnesota, an upset. Call me crazy. Give me the Gophers.
I'll be cheering for Minnesota. If
Oh,
that counts.
absolutely.
We
just lost a bunch of followers or viewers and listeners, but that's okay.
Here's a great
Should
one.
be used to it by now.
Great one here. Northwestern at Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Easily.
I think they've won, 7 or 8 in a row?
Yeah, they're rolling.
It's not going to end tomorrow.
Kobe King quitting that team was a blessing for them.
Yeah, it was around the same time Carton left, and both teams have been playing really well.
And Kobe King's going to Nebraska next year. Be interesting.
They'll be better next year. Speaking of Nebraska, they travel to Michigan. Agreed.
Yeah, I mean,
Michigan's lost 2 in a
I know
row.
that hurts you saying that.
Go
but
Nebraska, Wolverines.
Now for the matchup of the week I would say the non-weekend games. Illinois at Ohio State.
They don't play for the Eli Buck, do they? For
Illa Buck?
basketball, Illa Buck.
Number 23, Illinois at number 19, Ohio State.
Taking the Buckeyes on senior day. Senior night.
Do they have any senior? Andre.
Andre.
It's
Is that
pretty big
it?
one.
Kyle Young's a junior.
Yeah, Wesson's
Andre,
the other
yeah.
Wesson is Caleb.
Caleb's a junior. Andre's a senior. He's been playing really good, too.
They're still a really young team.
They are really young.
Is Washington?
He's a sophomore.
No, he's a sophomore.
I get him and
Too much sauce is
him and one of the other ones confused.
Muhammad's
Muhammad
a
and Washington,
sophomore.
I get confused.
Did you watch them yesterday? There was a stretch
Barely any.
where Muhammad hit 4 threes in a row, and that's when they kind of started to put the game away.
That's what Ohio State does. They hit threes. They play good defense. So.
Yeah.
They are the best 3-point shooting team in Big Ten play, but they have the worst 3-point shooting defense in the Big Ten during Big Ten play, which doesn't help Illinois out at all because they don't shoot well.
Yeah. All 5 of them will shoot. I mean, Kyle Young went when he's hurt. He has a high sprained ankle. He didn't play yesterday, but when both Wessons are in there, all 5 of them shoot at all times.
The Caleb Wesson Kofi Coburn matchup is fascinating to me. Yesterday, Coburn had 6 blocks.
He timed everything perfectly.
But that's because Joey Brunk, Justin Smith, Trace Jackson Davis don't really shoot the 3 ball, so he could just pack it in. And that's not going to be the case here when he's having to guard Wesson, because Wesson's specialty is that pick and pop 3-point game. And Coburn has kind of struggled defending ball screens. Garza lit him up. I expect Wesson to do the same, but Illinois has better guards, in my opinion. And I'm taking the Illini. I'm not going to pick Ohio State when Travis is sitting right next to me. I mean, you guys knew that.
That's not the book, is it?
No, I thought about it, but I want good juju for that game. Illinois won there, as I said, last year with a much worse team. Of course, Ohio State wasn't as good either, although they played in the Sweet 16 last year, didn't they?
They're peaking at the right time.
They didn't make the tourney last year. Ohio State did not make the tournament.
When did they make the Sweet 16?
2 years ago, they got bounced.
They didn't make the tourney last year?
I don't think so.
They've made it 2 out of 3 years under Holtman. I think they did. I think they made it 2 years in a
I'm
row.
going to look at it. I did not think.
I'm pretty sure they did. Like I said.
I will look it up. Keep going, Josh.
Well, I'm looking it up because I like to fact check you, and I
I
don't
know-
think you're going to tell the truth here.
I know for a fact
thought
they
they
made
were
it
bad.
2 out of 3 years under Coach Holtman.
They lost in the second round last
They
year.
made it.
There you go.
Jeez.
I deserve a handwritten apology.
Who beat them?
Absolutely not.
Houston by 14.
I remember that. They were 5-point favorites.
They were they really?
I'm serious.
Houston was the 3 seed. They were the 11.
I think they were favorites. I'll fact check that one.
Iowa State
We're on our phones.
they beat in the first round, the 11-6 game. I don't know why I thought they went to the Sweet 16. I deserve a handwritten apology.
No.
I'll accept it off the air.
5 point. I don't know.
I am awful. I need to fact check myself.
What were we doing? Were we picking games?
I don't remember. Go Buckeyes.
Wisconsin at Indiana.
Give me the Badgers. They're rolling.
Is this on Sunday?
Saturday.
Indiana, at least under Tom Crean, could not beat Bo Ryan. Wisconsin waxed them. Was that that wasn't their first Big Ten game?
It was their first road game of the year. That was their first road game of the year back in December.
Wasn't their first Big Ten game that Nebraska at home?
Yeah, and then they went to Wisconsin.
Okay. Give me the Hoosiers.
Hoosiers as well.
Wow, you guys have the Hoosier going. Well, you have them 2-0 this week.
I have 1-1.
I have 1-1.
Rutgers at Purdue. This is a huge one again for both teams.
I have Purdue.
I like Purdue at home.
I'm never picking against Purdue
I'm gonna
at
jump
Mackey
over that
Arena.
table.
At Mackey Arena again.
Every time he says that, they
Give me the
lose.
Boilers.
Purdue's going to lose now.
By 16.
Except you picked them last
16.
week and they won. So
Yeah, here's just
Rutgers got them the first time they played, but it was a close game.
honestly, you know what would be smart to do this year is just ban Northwestern and Nebraska from the Big Ten tourney. Don't even have the Wednesday games. You know what I'm saying?
So who do they play?
Penn State. It is at Northwestern.
Northwestern? Penn State.
Give me Penn State.
Give me Northwestern. In an upset.
After he talks like that, he pulls out. Which, if Penn State doesn't hit that one against Rutgers, they are reeling right now.
Yeah.
Because they didn't look
Big
good against
time.
Iowa over the weekend.
And they lost at home down.
And now they play Michigan State. I mean, they could be really reeling, but
They should beat Northwestern, but
should.
give me I've been picking Northwestern more lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. Let's see here. Sunday, Michigan at Maryland.
Give me Maryland.
Michigan.
Michigan's going to have a bad week.
Maryland.
Michigan is not the same when one of their guys is injured. When they are healthy, they have as much Final Four potential as any team in the conference. But when they are missing one guy, doesn't matter who, they're not the same team.
Who's hurt now?
Kid who broke his nose against Purdue.
He played yesterday.
Didn't know that.
Eli Brooks. He was wearing the mask.
Okay. Man, I am on a roll tonight.
Give me Maryland at home.
Maryland's still at home.
Well, okay. Well, Michigan might be a sleeper then for the tournament.
Nebraska at Minnesota.
Minnesota,
the barn.
Agreed.
I think I take every home team.
I've done. It's not usually not a bad thing at Big Ten.
Ohio State at Michigan State. Cassius Winston's senior day.
Michigan State, they don't lose senior days.
Go Buckeyes, but Sparty.
Yeah.
I could see it being really close because, as I say, players tend to play tight on their senior day. But give me Sparty. Iowa at Illinois, senior day. Andres Feliz. Kipper Nichols.
Give me Illinois.
And Io DeSumu's likely last game.
Give me Illinois, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a fight during this game.
Last time they played, it went down to the wire, didn't it?
Yes.
At Iowa.
It went down to the
Chippy.
wire.
You didn't get chippy. I'll
Chippy.
take the home team as well, Illinois.
Give me the Hawks.
Knew that was coming.
For whatever reason, I just...
Don't want to jinx them.
That is
I
the
feel
last
like
Big Ten game of the year, so something big's got to happen.
Fran McCaffrey is just a bad matchup for this Illinois team.
I like watching him play.
I cannot stand Iowa. The McCaffreys.
And who does Butler and Notre Dame have this week?
I was just about to look that up there.
I had a feeling you were.
Notre Dame has been struggling.
Oh, they blew it this weekend at week 4. They're done. They're done.
Again.
Bray might. It might be time for a split between Notre Dame and Bray.
Watch for Beeline.
Yep. That'd make a lot of sense.
Butler at home against the Johnnies on Wednesday.
St. John's blew out my dark horse for the Final Four, Creighton, yesterday.
Creighton's a projected 3 seed right now.
I like them.
Even after.
I like them. But I'm taking Butler home.
I have never been to Hinkle in my life. I am going to
Really?
the first Butler game. When is it? Wednesday, right?
Wednesday,
I'm
March
going,
4th.
I'm going to the
you should
game
probably know what that
Wednesday. Go Butler. I'll be there.
Yeah, I think Butler wins that one. Huge bubble game. Butler's not on the bubble, but at Xavier on Saturday. That's a huge one for the X-Men.
Give me X. I know Andrew Eiler's not going to be happy with me there because he does not like Xavier, but give me X. Cintas Center.
I'm going to roll with Butler again. 2-0.
You're sucking up to all your indie clients. I know what you're doing.
Go Bulldogs.
X gonna give it to you.
There
Give
you
me,
go.
give me the X-Men.
Musketeers.
Notre Dame's 18-11. I do think that loss
At
on
Wake Forest.
Saturday
Killer.
killed them. They do have an opportunity at home against Florida State on Wednesday.
Florida State. Easy.
You think so?
Yeah.
Florida
State did have a bad loss against Clemson, though.
Give me Notre Dame at home, and they kind of stay alive. I don't know what they need to do.
I don't either.
Here's your Notre Dame sticks with them the entire first half, takes a halftime lead.
I could see that.
Blows it within the last 6 minutes.
I could see that.
Florida State by 5.
I could see that.
But go Irish.
You know what's going to happen? They're going to beat Florida State and then lose at home to Virginia Tech on Saturday.
I will take them over Virginia Tech. Virginia
Yeah.
Tech's not very good this year.
I have a flip-flop. I think they beat Florida State and then lose to Tech.
Covers it.
That is our last regular season game pickings.
Yep.
Next week will be fun. All the conference
Tournament.
tourneys, and then the next week we'll have NCAA tournament
Yeah,
action.
we'll have our previous show 2 weeks from today.
Fun
Tournament
time
preview
of
show.
year. It's getting warmer.
Yep.
It is getting warmer. 50s or 40s pretty much every day this week. At least down in Indy.
NFL Combine was going on in Indianapolis over the weekend.
It was. I heard there was a lot of controversy about the time slots. Did you hear any of that?
I did not.
Players had to wait around a lot more, just have a lot more downtime, and it led to more soft tissue injuries. So the agents aren't happy. They're doing this time change thing to kind of prepare because they're going to move it to Los Angeles, it sounds like.
That's stupid.
Are they
Would
really?
yeah, that's
Keep
the rumor.
it in Indianapolis. Which
Centrally located. It's a great city for
the
it.
NFL likes, routine and tradition. Keep it there. You don't have to worry about the elements. Keep it there.
You don't really have to worry about the elements in Los Angeles either.
No, probably not, but
I don't like change. Indianapolis.
I don't like change
I think
either.
Indianapolis
It's
does
a
a
great
phenomenal
spot for
job. When they host the Super
Yeah.
Bowl, phenomenal job.
they're getting everything taken away from them.
I'm excited for the All-Star game this year to be in Indianapolis for NBA next year, technically.
Everyone I've heard on Twitter is hating the idea of it in Los Angeles. Everyone likes it in Indy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's essentially
You
located.
don't have to put everything
I mean,
in Los Angeles. NFL.
you have the convention center right downtown.
Yeah.
I mean, you have restaurants
Everything's
within walking
easy to
distance.
walking distance. Yeah, but I was happy to see one of Purdue's representatives, Bryson Hopkins, do really well for the tight ends. Ran the second fastest 40, had the fourth most bench reps, did well in the cone drill. Probably, as long as he has a good pro day, he's probably going to be second or third round pick. It'll be good for him.
I think it'll be the first tight end taken.
You do? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they're not an absolute mega stud.
No, it's not a
this
great tight end class.
And their other representative, Marcus Bailey, was not cleared to do anything besides bench. So,
That's kind of boring.
and he majored pretty small. And his bench was like 22 out of 27 linebackers. He didn't bench very well, and he majored pretty small, like right at 6 foot.
Isaiah Simmons was the winner.
Yeah,
He was,
Ran a 4.39. He's a linebacker, can play safety. Can
yeah,
he play
he's-
probably
he's
slot
He's
corner?
a top 10 pick.
He's top
Maybe
five.
top five, probably.
Top five. Top three.
I'd say the losers, AJ Epineza from Iowa. He was awful.
How bad was he? You said
5'140",
Is
and then his cone drill was like 10 seconds.
that bad?
Yeah, it was bad.
Speaking of Iowa, that Tristan Wirfs or whatever.
Worse, yeah.
Yeah,
He could scoot.
He's moving up, but they said Epineza quite possibly could have cost himself first round.
Wow.
He might slip in the second round now.
That'd be a good thing for a team like the Dolphins.
Because he was projected like 15, 16, not 15, but 16, 17.
Mid-20s,
Yeah,
too.
I wouldn't say 15 because Denver's probably going to go offense in their draft. So
I saw Ruggs going to Denver. In a
I would
mock
take
draft
that in a
today.
heartbeat.
4.29, was it? 4.28?
Crazy.
I'm afraid. I mean, this is wide receiver class is the deepest the NFL draft's ever seen, but I'm still afraid a lot of those guys will be gone by 15.
Yeah.
But they need offensive line help too. So
The good thing is there's so many of them
Yeah.
that you could have a really good one fall to 15.
Yeah.
Even
I would
second
love
round.
CD Lamb, but I don't think he'll be there. Could be.
I bet he's
Oklahoma.
there at 15. You
Yeah,
can
that might
take it to
be
the take it to the bank.
I will do my first mock draft next week.
Perfect.
I still have to do a bucket. I don't know what it's going to be. What we're going to talk about next, so I can figure it out.
Oh, I got you. I got a question I want to bring up to Travis. It's NFL related. It's not combine, but it has to do with the venue, Lucas Oil, the team that plays in it. Indianapolis Colts. A lot of rumors about what they're going to do with quarterback. What do you think they're going to do, and what do you want them to do?
I'm not going to find it.
I think free agency starts March 17th.
A couple weeks away.
As both of you do, I like to tweet a lot.
fun.
Sometimes my tweets are, I do it on purpose, just to try to get under people's skin and stuff like that. So what I tweeted earlier this week, or I guess it would have been today's Monday, it would have been last week. I want Phillip Rivers. Not saying I don't want them to draft a quarterback still, but the Colts are ready to win right now. I think they have enough talent on both sides of the ball. They still need some defensive help, but Brissett's not the answer to go win a Super Bowl. I'm not saying Phillip Rivers is the answer, but I think he's a lot better than Brissett. A lot better. With that offensive line, I think Rivers would be phenomenal. Go draft Jordan Love at 13. Let him watch Rivers for a couple years, and then he can start in 2023.
The only way I think the Phillip Rivers thing makes sense is if they do draft a guy
Right.
in the first round.
Right.
After watching Phillip Rivers last year, that arm's not very good anymore.
Right.
He's still very capable.
Still Tater's least favorite athlete.
Oh, he's a dork, isn't he?
That's a nice
dork.
word. That's a nice word. Keeping it family friendly.
And I have tweeted him so many times,
He's the
insulting
biggest
him.
whiner.
Yes.
But he's a good quarterback, and I'm happy to see him out of the AFC West for once.
Personally, I would think I would just roll with Jacoby. As a non-Colts fan,
I think Rivers ends up either a Colt or a Buccaneer. I don't know what happens with Jameis.
I would take Jameis in a heartbeat.
You want Jameis?
Yes, I think that dude.
he just got the LASIK, man.
Got the LASIK. That dude slings the ball as much as anybody in the NFL. Take those interceptions and cut him in half. He's
that's the problem.
An elite quarterback.
I never
if
see
you cut
that
him in
happening.
half.
Elite?
If he cuts those interceptions in half, I think he would be. I think he'd be elite.
Next thing you're going to say is Joe Flacco's elite.
He is. It's his nickname.
Yeah.
Flacco's not even average.
I would take Winston. I would take Matthew Stafford.
Stafford would be an interesting one if they're willing to trade him.
I think.
If Detroit gets Tua, they got to get rid of Stafford.
Do you think anything happens? I mean, Burrow's going to go to Cincinnati. What happens? I
think he pulls an Eli.
Who, Burrow?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be surprised.
Pulls an Eli, John Elway.
I have tweeted
worked out great for both of them.
I have tweeted multiple times that I think he's the second coming. I've Brady's.
I'm so bad at predicting quarterbacks anymore.
I'm horrible at all this.
But
Paxton Lynch.
But
don't believe anything I say.
But Jordan Love, the interesting thing is McShay's got him going way up into that Herbert slot around Miami's pick.
I think
Miami loves him.
Would you like that?
I think I'd like him more than Herbert.
Would you?
Mm.
After the combine, I think 4 quarterbacks go in the top 10.
Wow, that'd be incredible.
I think.
You know what? I think it happens too.
Yeah, that'd be incredible.
We have 4 guys. Book it. Yeah, we have a month and a half, but book it.
That doesn't count.
Okay, next football question. Where's Tom Brady playing at week 1?
Go ahead.
New England.
Las Vegas.
I think Tennessee.
Look at that.
It's one of those, I'll believe it when I see it, that he's not going to be there.
It's a lot of, it's almost where there's smoke, there's fire, man. There's a lot of.
Jeff Darlington, an ESPN guy, said he would be shocked at this point if he's back in New England.
Let's see. Tennessee, if they really want him instead of Tannehill, makes a lot of sense. He's friends with Vrabel. You got a workhorse in Derrick Henry. You don't have to throw 50 times a game. You got a team that's playoff ready to win. They beat his own team last year.
Better receivers, too.
The Chargers were awful last year. They have a lot of talent, but they were awful. I don't know if they're winners right away with a new quarterback. Vegas, I don't think so. And I think Vegas is giving up on Carr too quickly.
I like Derek Carr. I do like Derek Carr.
I think he lands somewhere nice if they get rid of him.
I would take him in Indianapolis.
I think Derek Carr stinks.
I think he's got a lot of talent.
He's a nice guy.
He's a turnover.
He's a really nice guy.
I think he's got a lot of talent.
Bless his heart.
He
tries so hard out there.
He hasn't been the same since he broke his leg against the Colts.
I agree.
He's going to be MVP.
He's kind of captain check down. That's why he leads the NFL in completion percentage, because he doesn't take any risks at all. And that could just be a system thing.
They don't have a lot of weapons.
No.
So I don't know.
Not at all.
I know they're going to throw $30 million a year at Brady, but
this
money means nothing to Thomas at this point.
His wife makes more than him every year.
Yeah.
And
loaded.
As she should.
And that's why my dad was always like, she's not going to want to live in Indianapolis. So, which I read the Colts and Giants aren't really in on them now. So.
This means absolutely nothing. But I do have a buddy out there in Vegas who works out there, confirmed that Tom Brady did buy a house out in Vegas. But I know he has 3 or 4 houses. Yeah. Means nothing. But, hey, you never know.
It's fun to, draw conclusions.
Absolutely. We picked three
So I
teams.
could be looking at a division where I would anyways, root against Mahomes and Brady inside my own division. Ugh. Yeah, at least Rivers is out now. Oh, if Rivers was still in L.A., that would be the worst.
Tyrod Taylor, man. I saw that guy just whoop on the Dolphins for years.
They're going to draft a quarterback. They like Herbert a lot. I've read.
Yeah. I would say that's where he ends up.
Yeah, because that's where I thought Brady would originally. I kept saying the Chargers after the playoffs, but I've changed my stance. I like this Tennessee rumor.
I would, as a Colts fan, I would not want Herbert. I watched him a lot in college. I know he had some good stats.
He had a good Senior Bowl. I don't know how much that matters. But
Herbert and Fromm are 2 guys I would be.
Fromm won't be a first-round pick.
Very disappointed about if the Colts took them.
Fromm will not be a first-round pick, in my opinion.
No, I don't think so either. But Colts have, I know, they have a lot of picks again. I don't want him at all.
They could just wait and get your boy next year, Ian Book.
There you go. Or tank for.
Or were you
Trevor Lawrence,
Justin
Fields.
Yeah. Were you even a Book fan on Twitter? I don't remember this year.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
Like I said, don't believe anything I say. I tweeted at Ian Book so many times, and then last couple games, dude caught fire through 3 touchdowns, the Claypool in the bowl game. That's when he wasn't utilized as much as he should have been this year.
I feel like every time I watch Notre Dame, Claypool was catching multiple touchdowns.
And then he proved it though in the combine that
he's good.
He'll be a second round pick.
Yeah, he's
easily.
Reminds me of Fuller a lot.
Yeah,
he's far
better hands,
bigger than Fuller.
better hands,
and faster apparently and stronger. There was a couple.
I couldn't believe he ran that fast.
That was crazy. There was a couple teams that wanted him to try out as a tight end. He goes, "No, I'm a wide receiver," and he proved it that he's a wide receiver.
But on Brady, we're going New England, Vegas, and Tennessee. Well, we'll have to see. It'll be interesting to follow. We'll know in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Try not to put too much stock into that Edelman, Brady, Jimmy Fallon thing.
Brady did not look happy.
No, he didn't.
No.
And some lip reader experts are saying,
is what he said.
I saw it on Twitter today that some guy, it was NFL updates or whatever they were called, said that wasn't even close to what he was actually saying.
So, but Edelman, that's just typical Julian Edelman to do something like that.
I can't stand that, dude. I cannot stand that.
No. So.
I've come up with a bucket.
Okay, let's hear it.
The bucket, J-Man's Book Prediction of the Week, is brought to you by
this guy, Travis Wottring, Farm Bureau Insurance. Contact me for all your insurance needs. Oh, everything. Life, home, auto, renters, commercial, farm, workers' comp. If it's insurance related, give me a phone call. 219-869-4561.
They can send you an email too. And
Travis.Wottring@infb.com. You guys are a lot better
social
at
media
that than I am. Social media, TTW@IFBI and Facebook @TTW, Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Or just text me. Might be even easiest.
There you go.
The Indiana Hoosiers lose at least one game this week.
You already did that in your picks.
I'm booking it now.
Where did that come from?
I think you've had like 5 or 6 buckets this year that involve Indiana.
I would like to know my success rate.
It's not good.
Yeah, that's your project. Go back, start at 2020 for next week. Listen to every episode and write it down.
Hard pass.
Because I'm not doing the work.
Hard pass.
Tan will at me in most of and I always listen to him. I retweet him and what? That's his prediction this week.
Got to be bold.
He never plans. It's just spur of the moment.
He proved it. It just happened.
Spur of the moment. Oh, and I'm glad we kind of brought that up with social media because I did a poll over the weekend. Who people thought would win in the one-on-one game that's going to happen between Josh and I. And I haven't checked the results lately. It's going until this weekend, so you got time to vote. You can go vote on Twitter or Facebook, the Tan J-Man Show page. Let's see what
when
we got.
When are we going to do this?
I don't know, man.
We do
it
when
it's happen.
Not like super hot.
So we got 9 votes on Twitter. I am leading 56-44.
56% of you are dumb.
I have not voted yet. I responded to it.
Well, we'll put up some arguments.
I got some questions before I vote.
You just voted for J-Man.
J-Man just voted. You know what? I have more Twitters.
Thank you. Yep,
I actually have 2 more Twitter accounts. So I'm voting. You know what? Hold on. One of mine, I'm going to go vote for Tanner right now to get it back to even.
That's fair.
We got 25 votes on Facebook. Tanner's winning 17-8. And I can see who votes.
That's just
Connor Thompson and Andrew Eiler, you're dead to me.
Yes, sir.
All right, I just voted for Tanner on Twitter. Now you each have a vote from 2 of my accounts, and I still have my 3rd account, which will be my real vote. I have some questions.
Yep, I'm ready. Let's fire them off before
indoor or outdoor?
Let's give it
outdoor.
I would like to try to rent a gym, but he wants to do outdoors.
I don't want to pay money.
Who said we're going to have to pay money?
Half court,
I'm not playing full court.
Make it, take it, or is it?
No, it's back and forth, 2 to 3s.
Yeah. Okay, by 2s and 3s, that was the question.
20.
That was the big one. 2s and 3s to 20. Okay.
We might have a ref. One of our buddies might ref.
Dear God. So here's the pros and cons. Tanner, I remember back in middle school, Tanner was a sharpshooter.
Not anymore.
He didn't miss. There was a play set up where he would get a screen through the free throw line, beat the top of the key, and that ball was going in 9 times out of 10. If he still has that, you're in trouble. J-Man can post you up all day long and more than likely get every rebound.
I can jump higher, Deb.
But he's going to body you out. He's going to push you.
You'll be on your butt.
The 20
half the game.
Here's the thing I was thinking the other day. If we're both cold, that might help me because the longer the game goes,
I'll be worn out.
And I can see Josh getting tired. Not tired, bored.
bored.
Not tired.
Yeah,
bored.
I could easily see me
I am
getting
going
bored.
to D him up. I'm going to try as hard as I can. I don't know if he's going to try as hard as
I
he
think
can.
I'm
Josh-
definitely not going to try as
He's
hard
gotta
as
give
you
me
because I don't
cushion
care
to
as much. as
Josh
you do.
is
Let's
going to
be
go at
honest.
the 3-point line, just keep chucking them up. I'm leaning Tanner right now. I'm not voting yet, but I'm leaning Tanner.
I'm a better shooter than Tanner.
False.
Better shooter.
I've seen you. The last time I think I saw you shot was in Baker's Life.
It's
a bad shooting
That
background.
was 6 feet right of the
Hadn't
rim.
shot a
Didn't hit
basketball
nothing.
in days.
He is left-handed. I like
He is
the
lefty.
lefties. Me being lefty myself.
If J-Man gets hot, it's gonna be a long. It's gonna be a short game. Let's be honest.
It's going to be a long game because we're both not going to be able to make anything. Let's be honest.
I'm gonna have to stretch. I'm gonna have to get. I'm not gonna get in shape.
And
but
I am
I'm gonna
so
have
going to
to
go practice before we play.
Well, that's
so.
still fair. I'm not gonna practice.
You got a
gonna
car.
stretch.
There's
You
a
have a
park.
Nerf hoop in your apartment?
I do.
There's a park right here in town. A couple parks. There's 2 that have basketball courts.
Don't have basketball. I'm not gonna buy one.
Go buy one and walk. Yeah.
I hope it's live.
It's not gonna
Because
be.
if I'm not here,
we're gonna have to edit it.
It's probably not going to be live, but it will be posted on.
That's-
social-
that's-
it's going to have to be edited a little bit.
We'll do a little.
Definitely.
We'll do a little sponsor giveaway. We'll think of something. Some
I like
sponsor
that.
giveaway.
It'll be fun.
We'll figure
but,
it out.
But it's happening when it gets warmer, and yeah.
It's warm now.
But-
Just saying.
No shot. No shot. I can't dribble. I'm a bad ball handler.
So what can you do other than shoot?
That's about it.
I can't do anything either, so.
I'm gonna have to stretch because I don't want to like tear everything in my knee.
You guys should do a whole sports battle.
Competition?
Yeah. But, I don't know.
how would we
Home run
do-
derby, golf,
Oh, that'd be
bowling, ping pong,
Oh,
tennis,
bowling, because we're both terrible.
I'm an unknown.
cornhole.
You don't know bad until you see me. Cornhole, I'm infinitely.
I think that'd be
times better.
fun. A battle royale in the
I
summer.
like this.
That's a good idea. I
That's a
haven't
good idea, Travis.
Swung a baseball bat since like 2000.
We could do like one a week during the summer.
That'd be fun.
That is a good idea.
You're welcome.
We're going to make it happen.
Make it happen.
You guys ready for the
And I'll
Birdie Bogey?
sponsor it.
There we go. We're set.
Let's hear it.
All right. So there's 12 cities who have a team representing each of the big 4 leagues.
12.
Which cities has the longest championship drought?
championship?
Not
drought.
playoff. Sorry, I misspoke.
Yeah,
earlier.
that's what I was thinking.
Championship drought.
Longest championship drought.
Real quick, my dad said first basket wins. It might be.
It might be a long night, Todd. That's a good point.
All right, so championship, not playoff.
Championship. I'm
'Cause
sorry, I misspoke earlier.
I was thinking like Detroit for playoff, but I think the Pistons got there.
They won one in 04.
They won one in 04.
There's been a more recent one than that in Detroit.
Who?
Red Wings won in 08.
Oh, that doesn't count for
Hockey's
me.
one of the 4, man.
But when was last? I was thinking playoff this whole time.
This is championship. I'm
So.
sorry, 3 off. But you got about 2 minutes.
Okay.
Because there's could you even name the 12 cities?
Minneapolis.
Josh got it.
Boom.
1991 Twins.
Boom. 1991.
Can you name me the 4 teams?
Timberwolves.
Yep.
Vikings.
Yep.
Twins.
Yep.
Wild.
There you go. I didn't know if you knew that. The other cities are Dallas, their most recent, Mavericks in 2011.
Yep.
Washington, Nationals last year in baseball. Phoenix,
Capitals just got one too.
Diamondbacks in 01. Denver, Broncos in 2016. Philadelphia, the Eagles in 2018. Miami, the Heat in 2013. Los Angeles, the Kings, LA Kings in 2014. Detroit, like I said, Red Wings in 2008. Boston, the Patriots in 2019. Chicago Cubs in 2016, and New York was the Giants in 2012. So there are your cities.
Vikings have never won one,
No.
correct? What about the Wolves?
Nope.
I don't think. What about the Wild?
Wolves have never made it. Wild never made it.
Minnesota. Nate and I were just talking about this. Honestly, a couple weeks ago, they're a bunch of choke artists. I don't care what sport it is, and that little book it or not book it, the Birdie Bogey proved it.
Yep, it did. So that's about all the time we got. Travis, thanks again for joining us. It's been fun. We got to do it again.
Loved it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching on the ISC Sports Network. Download the free ISC Sports Network app and hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening to this podcast if you haven't already. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please give us a review and a 5-star rating. And until next Monday, have a great week, everybody.
Cheers.